My legs can make it, I guess. You know, Eddie, I have this I could read too. This, but to see now, this is specifically for somebody who's testing, a tester, what to look for.
That's what we're supposed to be doing. So.
Yeah. Here, hon, this is a good one. Oh, wow, I forgot we did all this shit. Holy moly. We have like a book here, honey.
Yeah, I know.
All this has to be read into it. Let me know when you're ready, Mark. Oh, and everybody will be here at 9:30, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
This is all the good stuff.
Well, which one would you like to do first?
This is all the different learning styles. Definition of a learning disability. And it goes into a case study about Terry, Peter. You want to do history of medication treatment for
Read it all.
ADD?
Just read it all. We'll catalog it, and then we can do whatever we choose with it at that point, I guess.
Mark, this is my water, and it's almost all gone. Okay.
I forgot my bottles of water today.
Aha. Okay. Okay. Pardon? Wait until you walk by. Okay. History of medication treatment for ADHD. Historically, treatment interventions for ADD focused on changing inappropriate behaviors. Success was measured through the use of subjective behavior scales and/or points, rewards, behavior charts. Physicians determined the effectiveness and the dosage of medication through parent reporting, self-reporting, teacher reporting, behavior scales, and the frequency of the medication's side effects. However, none of these treatment interventions considered the impact of a person's learning profile on their behavior and academic performance. Does the student who can't pay attention have a poor auditory memory? Does the student who interrupts or calls out in class have problems with active working memory? Does the student who rarely finishes his seat work have slow visual processing speed? What about the student who yawns and fatigues during reading activities? Is there a visual processing delay? Or is there difficulty with sustaining attention? By documenting a person's learning profile through an individualized assessment, interventions can be developed to make an impact on a specific goal, and success, failure is measurable. Traditional treatment interventions used for ADD included not only medication, but individual and family counseling, behavior modification programs, parent skill training, social skill groups, and educational accommodations within the school setting. When a learning disability was not part of the diagnosis, accommodations in the school curriculum were utilized to address behaviors not requiring remediation, but interfering with performance, such as sitting in front to avoid distractions, reducing quantity of written work, extra set of textbooks in the home environment. The success of counseling, behavior modification, and parent skill training programs was measured through the use of subjective behavioral scales completed by parents and/or teachers. and the results of the points rewards obtained on behavior modification charts. More recently, behavior intervention success was measured through computerized programs such as the TOVA. However, none of these treatment interventions considered the impact of a person's learning profile on their behavior and academic performance. Okay, that's that one. Now we go on. Okay. Let me see the trend. This is the M.A.R.C testing behavioral checklist. As a evaluator, not only do you want to see the scores of the test that you give, you know, the norms, you'll cut all that out, right? Okay. Okay. As an evaluator, some important things to look for while you're working with the subject. Not only are you testing to get scores and report the scores, because that is really a small part of the whole evaluation, especially for ADD. You want to look at the behavior during the testing process. Some of the issues that would be important to note would be the fatigue factor. Fatigue would be represented through curt, short responses, yawning, frequent yawning, eye rubbing, eyes getting glassy or watery, responses in a very lethargic tone, or lethargic voice, reduced or increased eye blinking, staring, quick frustration. You get upset easily, they don't get it, and they get very frustrated. Avoidance, escape behaviors, trying to get out of taking the test or changing the test protocol or asking to use the bathroom frequently. Stretching, cracking necks, knuckles, tapping a pencil, biting nails. Biting nails is like a tick behavior. Doesn't mean that it has to be Tourette's, but tick-like. It could be nail biting, picking at clothes, facial grimaces, repetitive body movements, repetitive verbal responses. Distractibility. Distractibility can be in different forms. We usually think of distractibility with auditory, being distracted by noise, and that's why we have the children sit in front of the room. Visual, another one why we have the children sit in front of the room, because you want to avoid any visual distractions of the other children in the room or being able to look out the window. But besides these obvious ones, there's also internal distractibility. These are students who get very distracted by their own thoughts. The teacher might be talking about reproduction and mention the word bees, and that child could be off for several minutes thinking about the bees around his home and how he wanted to get honey to see if he could track the bees or take pictures of them, not realizing the teacher's continuing on with the discussion, and he misses part of it because of his own internal distractions. Another distractibility is tactile. These are children and adults who temperature bothers them, hot, cold, the tags on a clothes, the way the sock fits. It could be hunger. It could be a paper cut. And you might think it's very mild, but to that person, it is distracting them enough that they can't even pay attention in class or finish their work. Another one is olfactory. Smells, odors. If a smell is noticeable in the class, and you might think that it's no big deal, these children will be ones who will comment on it. They can't stand it, and they won't be able to focus because the noise, this smell, is so distracting to them. You can also notice while testing forced focus. These are ones who have to hyper-focus. You'll see them leaning into the task. Sometimes they will put their hands up, making it blinders to avoid distractions. They have their head in their hands. They sometimes work very closely to the paper. They have the thinker's position. Their eyes can be red and watery and fatigue afterwards when they do an assignment, when they finish a subtest you've given them because of the exhaustion. I once had a girl who actually took her hair and pulled it down on the sides, and it hung while she worked and almost made a field, so she did not see any visual distractions from either side. Okay, another behavior is fidgetiness. It could be mild, but constant movement. Could just be squirming, readjusting their position in the seat, playing with their fingers or a string or a piece of their hair, or even rubbing their lips or their nose, or scratching. Restlessness. This is more expansive body movement. This is out of the seat, the leg, the foot, shaking or tapping constantly, frequent needs to use the bathroom where they're hungry, or getting up and looking at something in the room. Verbalizations. A lot of students, you'll note, will use verbal mediation. This is helping them stay focused, helping them find the answer. They will start problem solving out loud. You will actually know how they're processing a math problem, which verbal mediation is really great for the evaluator because we get to see exactly how they think and how they problem solve. Some will use subvocalizations. In other words, they just subvocalize. This helps them stay on task, blocks out other distractions, auditory distractions, and brings in more senses, 3 senses versus just one. If you're reading silently, you use 1 sense, your eyes, vision. But if you read and you subvocalize, you use 3, your auditory, your visual, and your tactile, because you actually feel it in your throat. Noises. If you note, some students, when they work, they'll make guttural noises, or they might hum, or they make just any other noise that could be considered a white noise, keeping them on task, and again, providing a buffer from other auditory noises that would distract them. Please note with the verbalizations any articulation errors that you want to note, whether or not this might be a possibility for a referral to a speech therapist. Voice modulation is important. Do they have good control of their voice? Or do they talk in a high voice? Do they talk in a monotone? Will this affect their communication skills? Also with verbalizations, think of elaborations. Or do some students go on so long that you think, gee, get to the point? They have difficulty getting to the point. This is something very significant to look for. Spontaneity. Do they have spontaneous speech? When you're working with them, can they bring up a topic, unless, without, it could be related to what you're talking about? Or do they have to wait for you to talk before they can add or elaborate? Also check for negative self-talk. I can't do this. This is going to be hard for me. Again, this will put a spin on their performance, because if they assume that they're going to have difficulty, they probably will. Also, some verbalizations are noted with humor. And a lot of times the students will use humor to relax themselves, to avoid a stressful situation, or to mask an area that they're having difficulty with. But find out not only if they use humor, but why they're using it. Now, some general things to look for when you're evaluating is eye contact. Can they establish eye contact? Can they maintain it? If they're unable to maintain eye contact, is it because if they look at you, they get distracted by your features? Do they seem to focus and concentrate better if they look at the wall or they look above you? Listening. You'll know they're listening. Look at their eye movement. Look at their steepling. Steepling means how their behavior is. How about their body? Are their feet pointing towards you? Are their shoulders relaxed? What is the expression on their face? Do they lean into or towards you as you're speaking, or as they're talking to you? When they talk, check their response rate. Is it slow? Is it rapid? Do they have halting speech? Do they have verbal rambling? Do you find that they have incomplete thoughts? They don't finish their sentence, and yet at times they think they do. Other behaviors to look for while you're testing is self-stimulation. Now you'll note the ones who, before a task, they start shaking their legs very rapidly. This is called pre-execution. They're charging up their frontal lobes. They're getting themselves really focused before they begin. Then you'll find the students who shake during the entire evaluation. This is execution. They need to maintain that energy level. And then there's post-execution. These are ones who they start the task, you don't see any significant self-stimulation, and even while they're working, but as soon as they're done, They start the shaking their hands, they start the shaking their legs, and this again is trying to get their idle lobes alert. They have exhausted themselves. Now for motor, you want to look at the penmanship. That's the fine motor. You want to see not only their writing, but you want to see their pencil grasp. You want to see if they enjoy the actual act of writing. Do they shake their hand afterwards? Also, do they choose printing over cursive? Motor, gross motor. Note how well they use their body, the left-right side. We also do our neurological screening. Again, this gets more with the balance and the finger rapidity. And you want to note the vocal. Are their vocalizations fluid? Do they stutter? Okay, this again is another motor component. Another area is impulsivity. We have auditory impulsivity. These are the ones who begins directions before they're completed, stating I know, they interrupt. But there's also visual impulsivity. They don't read the directions. They start immediately on the test. They misread calculation signs, a plus, a multiplication. They have difficulty with decoding. They can decode the words, but they don't have the patience to take the time to sound at each letter. They just will quickly blend the sounds. Copying errors. These are ones who, when you copy, they will make mistakes. And also when they write, they insert or omit small words. There's written impulsivity. That's careless errors. They omit endings. They omit words. They do write-overs. They don't erase because it takes too much time to erase. So if you have written impulsivity, you will find them writing over a word instead of crossing it out. Excuse me, instead of erasing it. They might cross it out, but they won't erase. They have a lot of false starts. You'll see them impulsively start a sentence and cross it out and then start it again. That again is that written impulsivity. And wandering. They write, but they're going all over. They don't develop a central theme. Also, turning pages before ready. This would be a general impulsivity. These are students you're working with them, and before you're ready to move on to the next task, they get up and they turn the page. Behaviors that would indicate attention, active working memory. They need directions and questions reread, repeated. They have splintered performance. They have errors on relatively easy items, but they're successful on more difficult ones. You look at the spelling. If they do well on a spelling test, but when you check the spelling on their creative writing or anything that spelling is not indicated as a necessity, you'll see the spelling deteriorates. They need hard copy. They have difficulty understanding what you're saying, and they'll ask, can I see it, or can you spell the word, or can I look at the page? Sometimes attention, active working memory, they'll get lost in the process. You'll watch them take a test, and they'll be in the middle of doing one of the cognitive pieces, and they'll forget exactly what the rules were. And either they will ask you to do it again. What do you want me to stop? Because I have one more page. What do you want me to do?
Oh! Another page. Hold on.
Let me know. I didn't know it was going to be this long. It's hard to...
I'm looking for the magnificence of ADD.
Oh, that should be in there.
Okay, that's one I think I'd like to read.
All right, well, I have one more page of this to do. I didn't realize how much stuff we have on this.
Was the magnificence of ADD in that group that you had?
It could be, but I didn't look.
No, I'll check it out. Okay.
All right.
Oh, here it is, right here. Oh, maybe it's the right.
Did you find it?
I have the Magnificence of ADD, got that one.
Oh, okay.
ADD in the right to write,
Yeah.
I only have part of it.
It should be on the other side. Check the other side.
Yeah, but it's not. It's supposed to be, it's not there.
So I guess I just gotta go from this here then.
All right. Well, I have. I can find it because it's in my office. The right to write.
All right, if you can find the second page.
Yeah, I can do that. My thing. I didn't realize how much stuff we have.
Yeah.
We should have written this book, Eddie, ages ago.
We are. We're doing it right now. This is it. This is the.
And who would have ever thought Mark? We've known since he was a little infant.
Would be our catalyst, right?
Whoever knew that. All right, you ready? That's it.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark. We appreciate these very much.
Okay, visual processing is also another one you want to look for behavior while you're evaluating. Visual processing, do they have rapid visual screening? Watch the way they go through the test. Do they have slow visual scanning? Do they take too long to read the information or to see the information? You can look at this through one of the subtests of the Woodcock-Johnson. When you look at the numbers and the designs as far as the visual speed, which would be the visual attention, which would be cross out, also could be visual matching, and see how they respond to those. Do they do it quickly? Do they make errors? There's also visual social scanning difficulties. This can be visually they miss subtle social cues, they don't pick it up, or they could have stimulus over-selectivity. They focus on one visual cue, missing other ones that are important for communication and social interaction. There's also use of compensatory strategies. Do they use their fingers for math calculation? Do they use their fingers for association if they're having something to memorize? Are they tapping their fingers as the information is presented? There's verbal mediation. This is the ones that will discuss the information, repeat what you've said, and then problem solve out loud. Other compensatory strategies could be closing their eyes when auditory input is presented. This is blocking out other modalities so they can hyper-focus on one, the auditory. The noise, whistling or humming can also be a strategy to block out other distractions. You want to know how they perform independently when they have an independent assignment, so you don't always want to be there with them during the testing. So you would want to give them maybe a math paper to complete or a written assignment where they have to do a creative story. Leave the room, but check the time it takes for them to complete it. See how long it takes them to get started. This is where, if you have a two-way mirror, it is two-way window, whatever, is really beneficial. Or videotaping. Academics. What you want to look at in general information in the academics would be the type of errors they make. Word information retrieval. Is it sequencing, directionality? Do they have splinter performance? Do they have roller coaster grades? Do they elaborate a lot with their information they give you, or do they have very minimal elaborations? Do they guess when they're unsure of an answer? Is it a good, educated guess, or is it just an impulsive response? You also really want to check their problem-solving ability. A lot of times people with active working memory have excellent problem-solving strategies because they can't remember what was just told or what they should be doing. So they've developed all these problem-solving strategies to create a good answer. Background information is important also for the evaluation. You want to know what extracurricular activities they do. Are they involved in any sports, athletic activities? If they are, what are they? And what positions do they play and do they enjoy it? If they were active in sports but they have stopped, really important to find out why they stopped. Social groups. Do they belong to any religious group? Do they attend? Do they enjoy it? How about social? What are their social interactions? Who are their playmates? How often do they see them? When do they see them? Are they just associated with school, or are they also in the neighborhood? You want to know about art and music involvement. Do they feel that they're good at this? Do they enjoy these activities? Is there a music preference? This is really good to find out also, because depending on what music group they like, you can tell a lot about their personality, and also you can tell why they've chosen that group. What's their after-school routine like? Do they come right home and do homework? Do they have a break? Is the homework supervised by a parent, or do they do it on their own? Do they do it at night? Do they take breaks? Do they sit and do it straight through? Very important. Then you want to know about their peer interactions. Ask the names of their good friends. Find out how old these friends are. Find out what activities they do with them and how often they see them. You also want to know what their activities, their relationships are with kids at school versus kids in the neighborhood versus parents' friends. And in school, you want to know their activities. What are their grades? What are their favorite subjects? What are their least favorite subjects? What activities in school do they dislike? What activities do they really enjoy? And if they could change something about school, what would they like to change? How do they do with seat work, homework? Are they the first to complete it? Does it take them forever to complete it? How about tests? Are they the first done, last done, in the middle? All this will give you a better insight into the student you're working with, or than the actual test scores that you'll receive. Thank you. This done. Okay. That has to be done again, Mark, but at least it's all in there. Get a necklace. Get a shot of the necklace, please, please. Thank you, Pat. I'm done. You know what else, Mark, we better start doing? I mean, we're going to be doing this.
Take his shots, if you don't mind. If you don't want to be filmed or anything, just holler.
So, okay, I think.
As long as I don't put numbers under my chest and put me up on TV.
Ooh, here's your chance, man. Throw some jokes. Go for it.
Talking about jokes, somebody told me this. Oh, it's the guy I go to a jewelry store, I go to have my watches fixed. And he said his dad was in the hospital. His dad has a great sense of humor. And the nurse left him a specimen cup and said, look, in the morning, just leave me a urine specimen. Good morning.
Hi, Gene. Good morning. Gene, this is Mark. He's
Hello.
doing some filming.
How you doing, Mark?
Nice to meet you.
So his father takes the specimen cup and fills it up, and then the
I
nurse
heard you
comes
say
in
you
and
were a specimen.
he gives it to the nurse as she comes in, and then he says, oh, wait a minute, give that back to me for a second. She gives it back to her and goes, and she freaks out. He had filled it up with apple juice. Just to freak her out.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Well, she didn't think so.
So I remember my chemistry teacher up at Temple. He used to tell me when he used to have all the people that were chemistry majors come in, he would do some pH balance tests for their urine. So he'd have everybody bring in their urine in a cup, and he would bring his apple juice and he would taste it and have all the students taste their urine, so they would think he was tasting his urine. So the whole class he would trick them. And
Well, there were religious groups and practices. Were we talking about this last week? Maybe, no, I wasn't here. But people drink their own urine on a daily basis. It's supposed to be a health thing.
Oh, my grandfather
In India, they do that.
used to do that.
Really?
Yeah, once a year in the spring, he would drink his own urine, and he claimed that it kept him from getting pneumonia. Well, he never had pneumonia, but
No, it pissed me off.
can I tell you? I don't know if it was cold or not.
Well, there's some
He
people.
probably never got warts either. There's a lot of things he probably never gotten.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I got a urinary infection. A bunch of Buddhists practice that. And people in India practice. Some people, and they say it's supposed to be healthy.
Not for me. Yeah.
I thought I'd make it look good, Gene. That's why I dressed my phone.
That's why you dressed down?
Yeah, I completely forgot about it. I was looking at Megan.
I think it had to do with not adventure, but
Oh, the Friday?
yeah, the Friday group.
Yeah.
So we're still trying.
Well, didn't she talk to him?
Yeah, I know, but she didn't set anything up for us.
Here's the stuff I was looking for the other day. Yep. What time are we gonna start this morning? 9:30 or 9:30?
9:30.
Let me go get Linda then, so we can get going on this.
We want to get started with this. Do you have the proposal stuff?
Oh, okay.
Give me the proposal, I'll get started with it. And we can do it with,
Okay, that's the right to write and all that stuff.
oh, okay, good. All right, beautiful.
Okay, it's actually the, okay. You want, next is,
The proposal for ADDA.
that would be in here.
September 7th is National Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder Day.
Everybody will forget it.
I heard about
Yeah.
that.
Baby survived, she survived, they said there was no infection, she healed up fine. And doctors from America examined her and said it was all legit.
Where was that?
In Mexico, a small remote town in Mexico, a woman had previously lost a child at birth, couldn't get out through the birth canal. And the same thing was happening again. Her husband was off drinking somewhere, and one phone in the town, not in their house, whatever. And she picked up the sharp knife, cleaned it as best she could, took a drink of alcohol. Maybe she drank nothing, she wanted to keep her senses about it. And she slit herself open and took the baby out, cut the cord, tied the cord, and then she passed out. People came by in time, and they took her in the back of a pickup truck over 100 miles of dirt road to a hospital. After taking her locally to some first aid type place, and then they got her to a hospital. She recovered fine, the baby was fine.
Wow.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it when I read it. It was a true story.
What's the punchline?
Oh, after a pregnant pause, I might give you one.
I guess you can buy those tools at Home Depot now.
Yeah, I wouldn't use it.
I guess. Coming out with home brain surgery and, okay.
Hello.
Hello, hello. Okay, here.
Good morning.
Good
I'll
morning.
tell you what, I'll be compliant today. You guys be the professionals. So that's what I'm embarrassed.
Here, the green thing, Eddie,
I'm only
is
half
the
dressed up.
proposals.
Yeah, I know, but I'm gonna shoot below the table.
Okay. You all got your minutes.
Good?
Pat gonna be here?
Supposed to be.
Supposed to be.
Okay.
All right, I'll be right there.
Jan. What's that? Jan?
Supposed to.
Mr. Bear. I didn't call anybody.
I figured a week.
The magic
Huh?
junk
you to-
drawer.
Yeah, we found pencils in there last week.
Oh, there's all kinds of stuff in there. So the crawl.
Now I'm getting into silly jokes.
No, that's, he'll love it, believe me. Okay, Eddie,
Called
here's from,
editing.
Yeah.
yeah, that's what he's,
I
yeah.
don't wanna cause grief.
Okay, this is that, and I'll be right back, okay?
All right, what we're gonna try and do is put together the.
It's right under my bio that I brought.
Oh,
Did I do that this morning or this was last week? Right? No,
No.
no, I
Did
didn't
you?
get it.
Yeah, that's it. That's what.
That's what you wanted.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, the request for,
Yeah.
I don't know if I got that.
Oh, it's in Tucson, Arizona. That ought to be interesting. I thought it was in Tucson. It says Tucson.
Well, they have it, the Indians had ADD. What can I tell you?
No, they just
I
show
thought
you
it
that
was-
twos can do better than one.
I thought it was TWOSON.
No. This is what you're looking at. You're not looking at
That's-
what you wrote, you're looking at what the guidelines.
Right.
Exactly, yes.
Okay, let's start out with, let's do the objectives.
Didn't we do some of this?
Didn't we? I
We
thought
started
we
some.
started a lot of this last
Yeah.
week.
We
Yeah, we
did,
did.
but I don't think we didn't.
Pat was taking minutes on it, notes on it.
Well,
Is there anything in there about it?
no,
Yeah, we had all this written down. I
I
mean,
thought we did, yeah, but she's not here. I'm
well, let's pick up where we left off.
trying to remember what the objectives were. Do you guys remember what we decided for the objectives? I can't recall.
Oh, it's something, there was something about how to
How to
storm,
Yeah,
how to
yeah.
establish and
Right.
maintain, something like that, how to establish and, you will learn, or whatever, however you wanna record.
It was-
How to establish and maintain a support group for persons with adult ADD,
Right.
or something like that.
Okay, yeah. And then we said, I remember, yeah,
Learn how to, is the objective, I think.
Yeah. And how to. Right.
Establish and maintain.
Establish an adult support group.
And that's why
Okay,
we're creating.
because I think we're going over the whole, everything
Again.
all over again. The stuff that we did last week.
What's in there?
I have no idea.
Oh, that's why I gave it to you. That was our file.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know what it was. But I don't think it's in, I don't think there's anything in here.
Yeah, it's not, but she was handwriting this on note paper. And she typed it.
Yep.
There was something else about professionals,
Here.
trying to network with professionals.
Blueprints, secrets of proven methods, the secrets to establishing an adult ADD support group, 10 plus years and counting, establishing your own. That was just our notes as far as the title.
Right.
All right. 'Cause,
Okay.
here was establishing a successful ADD adult support group, 10 plus years of success. Oh, yeah.
These are just all things by the title.
Yeah, and then what we were supposed to do for today was the presenter demographics and our background information for each presenter. Okay, and that was what everybody was supposed to have in today.
Now, they say we can only have 2 presenters. Is that what we're gonna do, or?
No, no.
No.
Oh.
No,
We're gonna tell them we're gonna do 2 and bring up 4, or whatever, whoever shows up, or?
Well, no, we're gonna yeah, and I'm sure they're just not. If I can call Michelle Novotny and tell her what we're doing.
Yep.
And, it's like, it gets very specific. I mean, how closely do they follow these guidelines? For instance, personal information, speaker information. If you haven't presented at an ADDA conference, they want references, a copy of an audio or videotape, or something like that. Now, are we going on the pretext that both of you have presented, therefore we do not need that information?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do it that way.
Oh, whatever Mark's doing now, and Mark's going to be videotaping Thursday. This coming
Okay.
Thursday.
That's all right.
Adventure.
Adventure.
Oh, that's right, that's the good can't make.
Yeah, we do have a meeting.
Okay, I can't make them.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Josh is
So you
doing
got
yard sale.
something coming up this weekend, or something that's semi-important?
Coming up for the last few weeks.
Is it? I didn't.
Okay.
Been drinking that yarn.
What?
You were never. I walked in the middle of that. Don't.
We're just kidding you.
I guess, I don't know if you wanna list what company you work for, but what is your position?
Yeah, yeah. In other words, my background, I
Right.
have a son who was initially diagnosed with ADD, and subsequently, I am an accountant. I am, whatever your position is, you can say in a big firm.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna name the firm or anything.
Yeah, it's national, right? Isn't it a national?
No, everybody thinks it is, but it's actually regional.
You must edit EP Henry out.
Is it done in the stock market? New York Stock Exchange?
It's a privately held company. But I was reading. I mean, it's for a bio. They only wanted 3 or 4 sentences, so that's what I gave them. I mean,
Well, if you give us the additional stuff, just a little bit about your personal experience, we'll edit it.
We'll edit it. And if possible, Barry, I'd still like your bio too. Because
Yeah.
even if you're not going to be presenting, I want it out there that these are the people who
Did it.
did it.
Yeah, get
Exactly.
credit for it.
Yeah, I mean, you won't, even if you're not going, I still want it there.
What if I email it to you, or should I email it to Pat?
No, email it here.
Email it here.
I think I have your email, I must have your email.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, I'm just gonna put down, my licensed clinical social worker.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
A son, adult son is diagnosed.
Mhm.
Yep.
Based upon suspicions of my own, I was evaluated, and apparently I am.
Yeah, that's it.
Whatever, I'll do
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, well, yeah, okay, and then, yeah, just
And then
into that,
what you do with Adventure.
yeah. No, that's,
45 minutes.
I know.
Track the audiovisual presenter, handouts, background session, introduction.
Forgot about it, just give us a call so you can read over what the minutes were you took from last week, so we don't have to reinvent the wheel. And give us a call, or maybe hopefully you're on your way. Thank you. Bye, Pat. Do you want me to call Jan or not?
Why not? Call
What,
it.
what happened with,
At the answering machine. So it could be she's on her way, but I told her if she gets the message to call us to let us know what the notes were she took from last week, so we don't reinvent the wheel. And we did send the minutes to Sue Novak.
Yeah, give him a call.
Yeah, give him a call. I mean, if he's not gonna come, he's not gonna come.
Okay. See, Pat could be on her way. I don't know Pat's cell phone, so that doesn't.
Isn't it on the sheets we have?
I'll check and see.
Yep, it is. Yeah, something about
There was something else about resources. I think those were the three,
Okay.
maybe the four. I think it was resources, how do you maintain your fiscal viability, whatever.
Right, that's right, okay. So if we're looking at those things, then what we need to do is we need to put together an outline of who is gonna go, okay? So, there we go. So, let's see, what are the steps that we have to do in order to put together, to establish and maintain?
The very first thing, I'm just gonna rattle on here, the very first thing I think is to identify people who are interested and motivated to get involved in the formation of a group.
Okay. Group. Okay, so you want to identify your core group, right?
Well, I don't mean
Not-
core group,
not-
identify people, because group sounds like you're identifying the group who are gonna come in on a regular basis as the support group. I mean,
Identify
individuals
individuals.
who are willing to work on developing a group.
Right.
Call to see if you were planning to come, but, because we're only gonna be meeting for 45 more minutes, so do you think you're gonna make it or not?
You identify your people first, all right? So you're going to identify.
Okay. All right, we're here. Okay, bye-bye.
Then what do we do after that? Well,
Select or
try to put the sequence
a
down?
professional to work, an ADD professional advisor.
Okay, so identify individuals to develop a group, and those individuals are ADHD, obviously.
It's fine.
So ADHD and family or significant others.
Or, yeah.
Okay.
Because otherwise people may get the impression a group is comprised only of people with ADHD.
Okay, all right.
And you also want to have, you have to really match the skills with the job position.
Well, wait, we're not at that point yet.
Oh.
The point we're at,
Is that how we put it together, or is that what you did?
Kinda. Yeah.
And
Well,
we
you
know
ha-
what happened to attorneys.
No, yeah, when you get to that point, you have to select. You know that. Well, how many people have approached us wanting to be part of this group? And we've kindly said, we don't need, fine, thank you, we'll keep you in mind, but right now
Right.
we don't need it. And that's
Okay.
because of that.
Oh, I know that.
so what we got is you have a group, okay, you identified your group, get some ADHD people and or family, then professionals, then you define your mission,
Uh-huh.
Okay, and then define the roles of the people.
Okay. I'm supposed to say it like this. Okay, then you got the roles defined, and then what was done after that?
Well, we had to become incorporated. When did we become incorporated? We did that almost immediately, didn't we?
It was in early 1995. I mean, our first meeting was December 1994. It was January or February 95.
But you don't have to incorporate. I mean,
No.
I'm sure there are groups, I mean, like I
No,
said,
you're right.
I mean, that's not a
But for
necessity.
liability,
Yeah, and plus
You really-
it gave us more,
Credibility as
Yeah.
a nonprofit
Okay.
organization.
and they know that you're not going to be a fly-by-night, because if you've gone through that process and you're now registered as a, nonprofit. So it was easier for us, for Barry D. Brown to take us on,
Well, they took us on before we even did that.
yeah. But I
Yeah, I just would think in the presentation, in the presentation to say that incorporation has many advantages, this is what they are, some groups may or may not then proceed down that road.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
Because you may have a group of people who have to live together, work together for 6 months before they figure out, do we want to keep doing this? And if we want to keep doing this, and then we'll go for incorporation, that's all.
funding for tax exempt status,
anything else?
any other reasons? Unity? I mean, it really defines it. When you have to incorporate, you really have to define it pretty well, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, and you know what else it did?
Oh, yeah, when you incorporate,
Bylaws?
you have bylaws that you have to set up.
Mm-hmm.
But it also, in other words, it wasn't the people that came together to start the group initially were just a group of people. But all of a sudden, when one became president, one became vice president, one became treasurer, one became secretary, et cetera, they had their roles, and it was legit, it was down in writing.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of made them more committed, I think. Okay, liability, credibility, funding, tax exempt bylaw, and also commitment of the members.
I don't know if that would necessarily come under incorporation.
It's not gonna give you commitment,
I
people.
mean, bylaws are actually a result, a requirement of becoming incorporated. The first 4 items are reasons why you want to do it, but 5 is, something that you have to do to become incorporated. And the commitment, I think, is overall. That's not necessarily.
Well, we're talking about how to establish and maintain a group, so commitment could be a whole separate topic.
I was
How
just
do you
thinking
keep-
that, why
how
don't
do
you
you
make
keep
that
the-
F? No, keep it there.
How do you keep the life of the group,
Right.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so
Let's go over.
you got identify individuals who are going to develop the group, okay, and then you want ADHD people and family members. You want some professionals involved.
Actually, C should be 2, shouldn't it?
Yes.
C should be 2, not under 1, because it's not part of identifying the group.
Yeah. This is a 2, okay.
You can define roles, you can make 3.
Yeah, it's 3. Define the roles would be 3.
3. And then 4 is
And then
incorporate.
4 would be incorporated.
Right. And
Or what you can put instead of what did you say? Reason. Advantages of incorporating as a nonprofit.
Okay.
Which means that it's not absolutely necessary, but we did, this is what you could do, and these are the reasons why.
And then I think we need to speak about funding, because I think this is the one that kills the groups.
Yeah, well, we mentioned funding one of the reasons
Was
why.
funding, but how do you, this would be, why is it an advantage to be a nonprofit in terms of your funding? But this would be, I think.
Acquiring funds or.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I see this breaking down into 2 major things, establishing a group and then maintaining a group.
Correct, yeah, okay,
And
yeah,
all this stuff
Is
is
established.
establishing.
yeah, establish.
Yeah, you already have it, yeah, steps to establish.
That's.
I mean, we have to get into the
type of
nitty gritty steps of,
Right.
what do you do? What do you do at the first meeting? Who, you know, how do you discuss things? What do you look for in the first meeting? What do you do to schedule the subsequent meetings? You know, how do you keep it going in the initial stages?
stuff. Right,
And that's part of establishing, and then we can get into maintaining.
okay. What I wanted to figure then, if we do funds, and then we could do the commitment, that's what you're talking about, the commitment.
Yes.
If you
Yeah,
want
that's to
to,
maintain it.
rally.
Well,
Well,
commitment
both,
is maintained.
yeah, both,
Yeah.
commitment to start.
How did we fund it in the beginning?
In the beginning, actually,
There really was,
we didn't have any actual funding except from the donations we received at the door. We put some money in for some supplies. I know Sue Novak did. I did. We used our own funds.
In-kind funds.
yeah,
We did.
Yeah.
and how much do you think? Just
Initially, probably $500. I mean, between all of us.
that much?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, because
Okay.
we had to establish a telephone line,
Okay,
which, you know,
okay.
was probably absorbed by M.A.R.C in some way.
So there was the mailbox, right? There was
Yes.
the phone line,
Mm-hmm.
Marketing materials or
Things like a
Yeah.
printing,
cash box.
cash box,
Yeah.
printing of whatever.
Yeah.
We do free ads?
Yeah, we didn't do any ads.
We didn't do any ads.
Okay,
It was basically word of mouth.
okay.
We printed up some flyers and put them in doctors' offices.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Do you do any public service announcements?
No,
or anything in
not-
newspapers?
Not initially, no.
Because you could throw that in here and say that, you know, if we had to do it all over again, we might have done that, so we learned from our experience, this is a little bit.
Well, true.
Newspapers will often, local newspapers often put something in
Community
free,
events.
yeah, community, what do you call it, community announcements.
Where we had professional membership, individual family membership, student with college ID. So we're talking 97, so we're talking 2 years later we had this.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't initially, but we got, we had a night of bowling. Okay, remember that was one thing,
Well,
never got off the ground.
we never, yeah, well, I was gonna say, it never actually happened,
Okay, go back to
but we did think about it.
Wasn't up
Okay,
to
the fund startup time was, the way we dealt with the funding is we had volunteers. We started up maybe about $500. We had to establish a mailbox, a phone line, a cash box, printing materials, word of mouth.
She's here.
Stuff like through doctor's office.
Yeah, office
posters,
supplies type of thing, yeah.
What did you
okay.
remember?
Community events.
Dressed up.
Hey, Pat, you with me?
This is Mark, this is Pat. Hi. Don't do that.
Mark is your son?
Huh? No, no,
Yeah, you have a son, Mark?
no.
No.
Evan and Eric. But Mark has been in the family since he was an infant, so he is, one of my best friends, Pat Kuglos, is her son, and he was good friends with both my sons growing up and his brother. There's a group of them and he's part of the group. That's why I said we were laughing, we've known him since he was an infant, whoever knew that he was gonna end up doing this. Yeah, so,
Visitations.
Oh yeah, to get started, we went and visited. The very first thing we
Existing-
did, we went and visited
Mainline?
in August.
Yes.
Visitation to.
Jan, this is Mark. Mark, this is Jan.
Hi.
Pull a chair. Pat just
Jerry-
got here too, so don't worry.
Yeah, I forgot.
Jerry McClone. Yeah.
Yes.
Contact with leaders.
Oh, really?
You're here.
I know, but
What, number 7, visitation to existing
Here, put
groups.
the air conditioning on.
You know, so finding how they run, contact with their leaders. Prep it, put it together. We're trying to think back that when we first got things going, these are the steps, we're putting together the steps to establish it, for the outline. So the first thing we're talking about is we want to identify the individuals who are going to develop the group, and out of that pool, I guess, selecting, ADHD family members, somebody has direct contact with this, and then also get some professionals involved, credibility, the funding, tax exempt status, establishing the bylaws. And then we wanted to talk about funding, because that's the breakdown with a lot of the support groups. They fall apart because of no money. So we want to explain how we used our volunteers, how we used the startup process, about $500 we figured. We used word of mouth in doctor's office, like posters and stuff. And we used community events, advertising, and we got ourselves a meeting site, and I'm gonna put no cost or low cost. In the initial startup stages, we had our visitations to the existing groups, and then contact with their leaders to find out, hey, how they did it. Is there anything else that we did in the startup and establishing the group? Breaking it up into establishing, and then we'll do maintaining.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's, as a matter of fact, it's one of the first things Jerry McClone had in here was the use of name tags.
Yeah.
But
The next one.
one,
Yeah.
the other, one of the main things we did
I have to
as
do the
part of
website.
this
Copy
was
that.
to sit down and establish a calendar of
Yeah.
presenters / featured speakers.
Pro, thanks. Tour bus, David Letterman. Dean, Robert, Susan, Vicki, and Virginia. National, oh, here we go. Here it is. We visited Jerry McCrone. He was our resource. So we had like a coach or mentor to get the group going and to support us, because he came.
Yes.
He was our first presenter.
Yes.
And he we called him with any questions. Then the National Convention. We all went to the National Convention. Do you have that down? We went to the one in Pittsburgh. Yeah, most of us went. You went.
No, I didn't.
Who went? Sue Novak went.
Sue went, I think Barbara went.
Betty went. And so Sean went.
Sean.
Sean Mulvaney went.
But
So I don't
Sean
know-
wasn't part of the group then.
No, I think he became part right after that. Sean was there from the very beginning, but he was not part
Sean always came to the meetings, but
Yes.
he didn't become part of the group until after he
graduated from college.
Yeah.
Itinerary. And then we had National Convention coach. I don't know what we meant by that. The other thing we did was we made contact with professionals. So we had them as, like as
that's
presenters.
that's one of the first things.
Okay, I'm sorry. All right.
Put speakers as
Right.
local presenters. Let's see, anything else that we did? Can't think of anything else that we did.
I wish I had kept these. What were your reasons for becoming an executive group member of ADDventure? And I put in parentheses, in addition to Linda Maid. I didn't keep anybody's responses. I wish I had.
I think another thing is
You've got them. Linda made me.
Okay.
what we were doing, we weren't gonna get like sidetracked and
Mhm.
go, on tangents, at least reduce tangents, I guess. So we had an agenda, and we had, the meeting notes.
Here's what we did. You wanted to know about advertising? In the beginning, we sent flyers to all the professionals to post. So we did that immediately. So that was
Yes.
our advertising.
Scheduled meetings, like they weren't happening on a crisis basis. So they were monthly in the beginning? Remember?
Yes.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
we've had a monthly
It's
Yeah.
always been months. If you finish writing that, what you want to do is go back to the beginning.
Yeah.
And one of the things you need to do in establishing is set up a
Calendar.
Chicken.
Standard meeting date.
Okay. Yes.
That's one of the first things you have to do so that it's not a floating date.
Same time.
Goes with ADD.
Same place.
So like the second Thursday of every month?
Yeah,
That's what that-
we set
You
that up.
established that.
We set that up right from the get-go, that it was gonna be the second Thursday of
Each
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 month.
month.
Because if you say it's going to be on a Tuesday, it could be the first or second, but if you don't state exactly what it is.
For
Such
us.
as, executive meetings,
Mhm.
which were probably not as,
Mhm.
Here's our initial meeting.
Okay, so we got the monthly scheduled meetings, the same time, same place, same location, and that's both for the group and the advisory board. And the example is the second Thursday of each month, or we could give an example also when we meet like on Sunday at like mostly 10 o'clock if possible.
Yeah, I think we started meeting out on, we started on Friday nights, I think.
Yeah.
We started on Friday nights.
The other thing was the follow-up notification.
We have down, during our first meeting in September with Jerry McCrone, when he came to meet with us, contact professionals in the area and determine what they could present to the group. We have that somewhere down there?
See Jerry in August, right? Then he
Yeah.
met with us in September,
Okay. Right,
and then he also was our first presenter,
correct.
first featured speaker in December.
No, I think he presented in December or January?
Our first meeting was in December.
December.
That was in the boardroom in the hospital.
I can still remember it.
Go on as well as it did.
Well, that's the whole concept of being associated with a professional.
Yep.
In the field, or, you know, because then you have, which is, you know, I guess,
Keep it professional.
it just so happens they built Barry D. Brown Education Center for us,
Yes.
so that we could start our group.
Yeah, pretty much.
We were the first group here.
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh, you know what we used to do? Oh my
I
gosh.
mean, it opened in January '95, and
Bingo.
we were one of the first.
Writing a proposal, we wanted to get a proposal to send to them.
And here we are, 9 years later, we're getting around to doing it.
Oh, here's the philosophy that we wrote down, Eddie, back then.
Wait, I like that. Let me just make a note of that.
Okay.
I think that's great.
Did you hear that?
Okay, so,
And
when was
we're-
that?
It was July 11th, 1995. We were planning to do a proposal for ADDA for the Pittsburgh conference.
So why don't you just say,
Continuation of that meeting?
why don't
Yeah.
you just say from
Maybe.
conception to birth went from 9 months to 9 years?
There you go.
And then you can throw in my article on procrastination.
Yeah.
Our philosophy of starting the group was educate, self-educate, professionals, support, grow together, disseminate information, expand base, help people cope with life, add humor, laugh a lot, build on our own strengths, acknowledge weaknesses, build self-esteem, share ideas and thoughts, experiences, adventure, make it adventure, tap into ADD's strengths, entertainment, and then we went into game show format, animation, etc. Yeah, that was the past. No, we didn't, no, not really.
That would be,
Networking or whatever, no. And then on that July meeting, we also said Vicki was going to start with the news announcements. That's when we started. So it was just 1 year later that we started with the news announcements. So we had that to hand out.
in the appropriate section, when you get to it, we should talk about a disclaimer has to be made in the beginning of each
I'm
meeting.
reading that in Jerry's notes here, as a matter of
You
fact.
know.
Can I get a copy? Can I make a copy of this? This is good. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, we do everything in here, it's just that we didn't know. He actually formalized the whole thing. In the very beginning.
You did, because you took a lot from that, I can remember,
Right.
but now it's become your own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm reading some of the things that he mentioned in here, and I thought, wait, this is what I do every meeting.
Until Vicki dropped out and they got lost. Remember we had the baskets with all the silly putty and the little, and they
Yes.
had balls in there, squeezy balls. We used to pass them around to the meeting so people would have something to play with. And we had that for years until, I think,
Yes.
until Vicki.
Well, yeah.
We lost that whole bag when Vicki dropped out or something,
Yeah.
of all that little stuff.
Oh, yeah. That kept a lot of people entertained.
Yeah, we should have that. We should start
I
that
have some
again.
of those, I have little brains.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. But-
How do we maintain
How to
it?
maintain what? The core, the executive group?
The whole thing. How do we keep it going? What was the key?
I think you have to certainly make sure you maintain this group, because it's the driving force that keeps the other group going, so.
That's primary, you're right.
And to do that, what do? I mean, I don't know where this all fits in, but in terms of the plaque, I mean, so you give people recognition, you stroke people's egos, or you establish friendships, you make these group's fun. I can come here and make a joke and people laugh at me, so gee, that keeps me coming.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, you have to keep
Yeah.
this group alive, otherwise, that's number one.
Okay, that's
That's critical. And, okay, now, how was that done?
Okay, put down the plaque. We could.
We're just
Recognition.
gonna list them.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be in the order. It could be plaque.
Okay, plaque.
It could be, oh, all right, whenever, also, we had the meeting, same location, same time.
Consistency.
Same
And
order
time
address.
instructions.
Okay, there was consistency in terms of the meeting dates, right?
Yeah,
And location, and roles
yeah.
of the people, because we didn't keep flip-flopping who does what. And that, I think that made it pretty clear, okay?
Boy, that's neat. It copies every other page for you. No.
Deal, whatever, I don't know, it's just like, no one here is top banana, nobody
Yeah.
puts anybody down, people all work together.
Okay, so
It's friendly group.
all equal.
Just put enjoyable. We
Yeah.
can come up with it later, because it was.
The other thing I think is selectivity. I think that is key. There have been people who have wanted to be part of the committee
Oh, yeah, we
that,
can, yeah.
They're picking the right people.
yeah, but how do you pick the right people? I mean, what is it that kept us together?
But put down selectivity.
Yeah, but what is it? What's the key? Because if we could describe
Well, you put it down
that-
selectivity, then underneath of it, we can put down the key.
Yeah, I know that, but
You already have selectivity down?
no. But
All right, what makes it?
So you're really looking for the criteria for the people you choose.
yeah,
Correct.
yeah.
That's what you're, that's what you're asking.
Yeah.
Selectivity.
So what are you looking for in a person who comes onto the board?
Right, of recruitment. Who do we recruit?
Yeah, you
But
have
I
to,
mean,
yeah, you have to
Like, you
have.
have to know the person.
Exactly,
Okay.
that is it. You don't want anybody that comes up and says, oh, I want to help, I'll do it. And even if they've only been to a couple meetings, they seem like they have a lot of knowledge. If you don't know them, you know what you're getting into.
Okay, so you have to know the person well.
Or somebody has to be,
Recommended?
knowledge, yeah, recommend, yeah.
No, no, recommend.
Ran out of paper too. I'm going back and doing every other page that it missed.
Okay, but now there's a lot of people out there with passion,
Right,
but,
but there's a lot.
Involved in the monthly meetings, or attends regularly, or
commitment, but how would you know whether they make a
participate?
commitment?
Yeah, no, ahead of time.
Well, you can't, but you know once they start, and if they're not committed, then you have to,
We've never gotten rid of anybody. Lack of pace.
or their life changed.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh my gosh, what was?
Well, I don't know, how we all describe, because we're all similar.
Independent thinker,
Okay, yeah,
I mean,
all right.
That's true.
you want people to contribute ideas, you want them to be afraid to say what's on their mind, and always get
Yeah.
All right, we want to speak up. They have,
Resourceful, I mean.
Yeah.
We bring our own certain
Flair,
resources, or connections to resources, or experiences, or something.
And you know what?
so there's a match of the skill of the person to the role.
Yes,
Mhm,
that's a biggie.
Right.
So in other words, if you need a secretary, if you need somebody
You
to,
need somebody that's,
you've got to get
Yeah.
somebody who is organized and has good time management skills.
Right.
I'd say one big thing is willingness to try new things, or willingness to do, because I don't think there's anybody here that ever says, I won't do. You know, whatever we say needs to be done. If somebody gets thrown, I've never heard anybody say, I will not do that, except for public speaking. There's some people who don't like
What
to
do
do
we call
public
that?
speaking, but other than that.
What is that?
conflict.
What is that? What would that be called?
What do you call
What
willingness?
type- yeah.
Take the initiative. Huh? Something,
Um,
a doer.
Yeah, doer. Anything else? else, there's another word I'm trying
I
to think of, I
know,
don't know what it is.
willingness, they're a team player.
Yeah,
That's good.
team player.
Be a doer, not a team player, you have big trouble.
What else?
Mm-hmm.
They,
You still want that willingness, don't you?
no, it's not
Not
really
a risk
willingness,
taker.
it's, there's some, why do we all get along? What is it that allows us?
Mutual respect.
Okay, that's, yeah. Respect is part of it, yeah, sure.
Acceptance of
Camaraderie?
differences, or I don't know.
Tolerance, yeah,
Acceptance of differences, because we,
tolerance of deviance.
yeah, oh, that's a good, put that, yeah.
Was that?
Tolerance of deviance.
It's pretty heavy, isn't it?
No, I mean, I think of Sean, who had all the
Conflict.
phenomenal ideas, and he came in and he was gung-ho, and he, remember, and he couldn't get them done, and yet we just, it's not like we got mad at him for it.
Can I
Yeah.
suggest something
But we-
seriously? What about willingness to embrace diversity? It's a more positive thing. Tolerance of deviance sounds like.
Okay,
God,
I agree,
child
okay.
molesters in this
Yeah.
group,
Okay,
and we're gonna
fine.
tolerate them.
I agree,
Okay.
okay, you got it.
Well,
Okay, you're right, I agree. You wanna do a positive, not negative.
There's enough people who put certain groups down anyway.
Yes,
what else?
I agree.
What else?
What makes our group click? Oh, we have social
Why?
functions together. I mean, that's something else. I mean, that's not part of that, Eddie. That's one of these things.
I think the group itself is a proud, I think it's a proud group.
Oh, we're
People
proud of it, yeah.
are proud of what we do, proud of how it's done. I mean, I've never felt embarrassed.
Yeah, we can fix that.
Have a sense of humility.
Camaraderie?
Yeah,
I think we have that.
yeah, camaraderie, humor, creativity, all the traits of ADD. Interesting. Okay. All right, the other thing you talked about was that the group exists
Keep it fire.
on some social level. So,
You also put impulsivity in that list too, of the humor. I mean, seriously, if people are impulsive, oh, I'll do that. Okay, hey, we can do this. I mean, this is.
Does our group work? What is it about us that, you know, so in other words, because as Barry said, you know, how do you keep the group together? How come it's going for 10 years? And Barry said primary, the most important thing, and we agree, is this group. If this group is solid and moving, then it'll
Right.
follow the other one. So then we were trying to figure out what made this group click. And of course, we came up with just like, you know, meeting at the same time, same place, having some refreshments, a social event once a year. But what about the personalities?
Choosing the people that we decide to accept into the group. We're very, very selective.
What
about
were the
them
qualities?
characteristics?
Yeah,
Let me-
What are the characteristics?
Yeah, let Eddie
let
read.
me run down it.
Okay.
Okay, we talked about selectivity of the recruits, or whatever you call it. Okay, first of all, we had know the person well, and that's been the basic criteria, is to know the people very well before they come in, so you know their strengths and weaknesses, and, okay. Then, people that entered the group are the people that like to learn about ADD, they have a passion for it. They're independent thinkers, they will speak up, they're resourceful, and then we put down match to the role. So, in other words, you know, your expertise are applied. You know, to accept the deviance of everyone else, I guess. There was a lot of pride in that person in the group, and then the other ones we had were camaraderie, humor, I forget what that one was. Can't read that one. Okay, impulsive.
Was that enthusiasm?
No, it's not enthusiasm. What it is.
But that would be-
Inability to say no. Okay, so those are the things. Because there are no groups for 10 years. There aren't any. We are it.
Commitment.
Yeah, but why,
Why? That's a
Yeah.
word.
that's hard to get at.
Is that the word commitment?
I think.
COMMIT.
Might I'll put it in there.
Collective.
Well, that's where the passion came in, I thought.
It's relationship building, isn't it? I mean, isn't it, people come back here for years at a time because of the relationships that we build.
Well,
Even if this is
why
the
do
only.
you come back?
I know why I do, but
Why do you come
Why
back?
do you
Yeah,
come?
I come because I know there's people out there just like me
Yeah,
who have
Exactly.
ADD and they need
Ah.
somebody
Compassion.
to
compassion, I was
come
thinking
back
of that word.
and help them. I mean,
Right.
every single meeting, or maybe not every single meeting, but at least, you know,
Yeah.
5, 6 times during the year, we've got somebody who comes in and says,
Wow, yeah.
I have been looking for somebody like you.
Mm-hmm,
And that's why I come back, because
Yeah.
right.
every month, somebody could walk in and say, I've been looking for somebody like, or a group like this.
It's like,
And you get,
then you realize, oh my gosh, I'm glad.
you
know,
get there and all of a sudden you're pulled away and you're
Something
sitting there
changes.
one-on-one with somebody who really needs your help.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's why I keep coming back.
Why do you keep coming back?
Because it's the same reason, but also it helps me personally and professionally, even
Put that down.
with teaching, with,
With your profession,
Like
right?
yeah, same thing.
But
And
not
now you're
only that,
touching
not only
people
that,
that-
but, you know, we're learning about, from the both of you, new medications, new procedures,
Right.
new, you know,
Mhm.
uh,
Expanding
So it's a learning
knowledge.
educational
Mhm.
environment.
Yes.
Right.
Because you have to always stay one step of your audience and your people.
And
so,
being
yeah.
being part of something that's really good. And I always was an athlete and a member of a team and good teams, and
Mm.
I feel like a member of this is a great team, and we do great things.
Mm.
So I feel like I'm part of something that's really good.
and in typical ADD fashion, I'm thinking of something about why the group is always, I mean, why the whole thing has worked is because we have always selected speakers, or up-to-date speakers and topics. You know, if something new hits or is spoken of, within 3 months, we have a meeting about that.
Mm-hmm.
So we're always, I know,
We're on the
there
cutting
is-
edge.
there is- I was
People
gonna
what
say,
they
We're
on the cutting edge.
of what's going on with
Yeah.
in the world of ADHD.
Mhm.
And that's why it works.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Jan, why do you come?
You called me.
You're made to do it. What else?
Betty made him do it.
Because of Betty, really. I keep up on everything, you know, and when
Yeah.
stuff comes up, I can let her know.
Jan doesn't have ADD, just ask him.
I got enough problems without ADD.
Get a close-up. We do really support each other, all right? You know, things
Yeah.
happen and things like that, and that's critical with it. Yeah,
Personally, for me, people who are not ADD really don't understand.
Mm.
Really don't understand.
Mhm.
You know, that book that I'm not crazy, stupid, or lazy. I mean, I have people reacting to me like, "What's wrong with you? My God, you're acting so stupid."
Mm.
Or why can't you remember things?
Mhm.
You getting geriatric on us? No, seriously.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I find I'm accepted and understood, and that to me has been a difficult thing for a long time.
Yes.
And I want to give to other people. I really, I sort of have to some extent come out of the closet and talk to other people if they talk to me first about ADD, whatever.
Are you diagnosed? Have you been
I was
diagnosed?
evaluated by Linda, who has no doubt that I'm ADD. And I keep saying I have doubts, but I have ADD. My name is Barry, and I have ADD. I forgot what I said. Oh, okay. And I really, is the tape on or off?
On.
You can turn it on.
No, Dick? No, I mean, he'll edit it out if you
Okay,
don't like it.
It won't be on.
I've always felt like the oddball in my entire life.
Mm.
And have, and I feel like I have people who really understand.
Mm.
So that's where it's at for me.
Yeah.
And that's really the truth, yeah, it is, yeah.
Okay, and you can edit that out.
I remember at our first meeting, when we went around the table, you know, everybody was saying, you know, why they were here,
Mm.
and Barbara Devine, she stood up and she had said that a friend of hers had diagnosed or thought she was ADD,
Mhm.
and she was given a test,
and she said that she was never so glad in her life to fail a test
Yeah.
and find out why she was the way she was.
Ah,
Within a
this
week,
is
that
why I feel
this,
like I have
you
to
know,
go
this
on.
explains everything, you know?
Yeah, finally.
Yeah, finally, it's like a whole weight is taken off your shoulders, like, you know,
And that happens with
it's
young
like,
kids,
I'm
too.
not stupid,
You know what?
I'm not
When-
lazy.
When Josh was
Yeah.
4 years old and we had him evaluated and we told him in those days he had learning disabilities, we didn't say ADD, we didn't talk in those terms. Up until then, he couldn't do a certain thing, he'd fall off his bike and the 3-year-old next door was riding a bike and he said, I'm stupid, I'm stupid, I'm stupid. And after we took him for the evaluation and said, you know, Josh, you have something called learning disabilities, this makes some of these things hard for you, blah, blah, blah. Took over the course of a month or two, he started saying, I'm so stupid. Oh, I'm not stupid. I have learning disabilities. Very well.
Right.
Wow.
Extremely well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've got a similar story with my son too. I mean, you know, it's fantastic, and that's another reason why I'm here.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the Christmas and the summer thing.
And that's.
Well, I think the Christmas thing turned into the summer thing. Yeah, something like that. The fact of the matter is that because we're ADD, we don't just sit around and do one thing. We're all so busy that's why it's so
Yeah.
hard to fit everything into a calendar, because, you know, you guys are off, you know, presenting somewhere in the country, or, you know, you're invited somewhere to do something else, or, you know, we're all active.
Yeah.
When you
That
write your,
inability to say no.
that's another thing, when you write your bio, you know, put down also what you do, you know. Service history.
Put an example, and then
What's a
let,
cutmaster for 5
and we'll
years?
let them edit, and
Put all
we'll
that
edit.
Put that in, so
I mean,
you
you'll
know,
go
when you write
crazy
your
with
bio.
it, but, you know, just,
We'll
if there's interesting
we'll work it
things.
out. Are you, oh, good, you can do it?
What?
What were you
For
saying,
what?
you typed, what would you say?
The basic beginning. Is this all like for the handouts, or what is all this?
This,
Because I typed kind of like a basic thing, but we need all this
yes,
for the actual, like, to give out.
right, this will be
This is
like the
the-
actual presentation,
the-
that's
yeah.
kind of the,
This was, I just
Stop.
did this kind of like the.
I make a copy of this. What did you,
And here's
where did you type? You added, like, time, minutes, modality, oh, I see what you did.
I followed the exact order that they gave us to follow.
Okay, you want me to make copies for everybody?
Yeah,
else?
you can make copies for everyone to look at, and you can edit. And this is just a copy of, if anyone needs that to fill out for the other information.
Which one?
The bio and the blur,
The little blur- I'll
yeah,
take
the
one of those,
demographics and then the bio blurb thing.
so,
It's $49. And what I'll do is I'll pay it, but it just, as long as you give me permission, and then I'll pay it, and then Jean can just reimburse me
okay.
later.
Yeah.
Just so I have
If I mail
authorization.
postcards out early Tuesday morning, I'll get them by Wednesday or Thursday, right? 'Cause I figure out
Something like that.
too. So I'll put them in the mail Monday night, there's a 5 a.m. pickup at the post office.
Okay. Is that the
Well,
way?
we have the, when is the, well, wait a minute, when is the meeting?
The
Is it
meeting is
Thursday.
September 9th.
This Thursday.
This
That's,
Thursday.
yeah, that's right, the one I can't come to. All right, so
Right.
there's a holiday tomorrow,
Well, still,
they may process some stuff.
they do process the mail.
You have to do that today.
so if we get your bios and everything.
Yeah, I have mine done, but it's not real extensive. This was just based on the notes that we, of the last meeting, and the basic thing, like the description can only be 100 words, it's exactly 100 words. A thing on Microsoft or whatever it is, and you find out how many words it is, yeah. It counts them and all that. So, and then this is how it needs to get sent, the basic general thing. Except we need to include the separate, I guess, or someone will need to add the presenter demographics. I sent this in Microsoft Word and
When did
WordPerfect
you
form
send it?
to the email address, so
When?
this morning.
Okay.
So you may not have checked it yet. but-
No, I haven't.
So it's on there, because I couldn't save it on, my disk wasn't formatted or some stupid thing. so I just sent you it via email. But this is basically the basic stuff. So I don't know if you can look at it, if it needs to be edited, or if you want to change it. It's in, you have it on your computer now. And it's in Microsoft Word and also Word Perfect. I think you have, I've sent documents in Word, or one of them, and you couldn't open them. Susan couldn't open them one time, so I sent them in both formats, so you should be able to
Okay.
open one or the other.
Yeah, it depends on
Right,
what your word it is.
yeah.
Some notepad.
And, because this is kind of basically what we.
So how about if I'll take this and then incorporate it with this and then come up with,
Yeah,
give it to Susan.
whatever.
Your
Right.
session description, it looks, to me, it looks good.
Yeah, the intro, you mean, or the description,
The
yeah.
description, yeah. Yeah.
I kind of
Worked on it.
fluffed it up a little bit, yeah,
Yeah,
and
no,
fixed it up.
Yeah,
From what we wrote,
Yeah.
that's basically what we wrote.
it looks pretty good.
You just
Barry will add if he needs any grammatical changes to
Well,
it.
this, in the first sentence, you mean in, not is, or non-existent in some locales, the first sentence, second
Oh,
sentence.
and, okay, yeah.
Right, so
Yeah,
since
right.
the availability of the
Inside,
adult,
it should be in, not is, right.
Since the
It's a
availability
typo.
of what?
since the availability of adults
Should be
workers.
not
Yeah.
Consistent in?
Yeah.
No.
It's funny, I must have
Yeah,
put in
non-existent in instead of
my
is.
lines, 'cause I didn't see it.
Yeah.
But I knew Barry would
Okay.
see that.
And then there's a session intro, like when you, before you begin your workshop, a volunteer will come and introduce you and
Correct.
read it.
Yeah.
So I just wrote that kind of a blurb for the intro, the actual intro, like,
And adult
so
users-
whatever, I mean, if
Adult-
you can change it or do your own, or, but I kind of put that together to maybe give some direction for it. In addition to, I think, samples of our brochure and meeting schedules and flyers and website and stuff.
If you wanna be consistent on number 12 too,
Mhm.
you have ADD with periods, without periods.
Yeah, I
do
know,
double
I
lines, do
know,
one or the other.
you can take them out.
Would our group be willing to be a resource for people who might wanna call or email us and say,
That's a good question.
you know, I mean, if you wanna.
That's a very
Oh,
good
yeah.
We
question.
wanna, wasn't it, you guys looking for help?
Yep.
Get got started, so.
And how would,
Excellent.
And I think,
and how would
Yeah, put that
they,
down somewhere.
I think it says it in here that we would.
do we have, are we gonna have an
In your outline.
email address connected to the website, or how will we, who's gonna, you know, I
Well,
mean,
the email
we're not gonna
address-
give our individual,
No, I'm not
Emails.
suggesting that, but if the email address is already on the website, that'd be a great idea. People then go to our website, get some more exposure, get some more hits, stuff like that.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
email,
And the thing is, there won't be that many people. You might think,
Yeah.
no, initially they will be, but, they're ADD. So in the beginning they will, but then there's only a couple of they will actually be able to follow through.
oh, we would come in though.
Could,
Well, it's on.
Have it come into ADHD code.
no, instead of ADHD coach, why don't we give it one of the other ones? Like this kid or something. Yeah.
what?
It says, let us know.
Well, Eddie has several email addresses.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
we have
This
to
is
put an
one of them.
email and with
Right.
our website,
Right,
so,
oh, yeah,
I mean, we can do an email and the website, the email doesn't have to be in the website, although it probably
Right.
wouldn't hurt to be in the website.
Okay, see, this is where
I
technological.
mean, if it's already on the website,
Yeah.
ADD, what is it, ADD coach?
I don't even,
Whatever it is.
Is there an
Well, we
email,
can change it though.
is there an email address on the website?
no, but that is a separate thing,
How would you go
That-
about doing that?
Or just,
In other words, you put in an email address on the webpage as a link.
Right.
Or, so someone can just bring up an email, a new email page, and they type something in and it goes out to
Oh.
that email address.
I mean, what would that save? I mean, I don't know. I'm just thinking we could use one of our email addresses for it, and then people, then other people could have the availability to go in and get the information, because I can see what's going to happen then.
Well,
so
we
you
could,
mean would you want
I don't know.
ADHD coach?
No, I wouldn't
No,
want
it's
any.
separate.
no,
just
no,
like-
no, no, no.
Yeah,
No,
because
that's-
you would get
that
You wanna
is-
keep it-
swamped, you don't want that,
Yeah, but you also wanna keep a clean separation between the two.
Exactly.
Otherwise
right.
it appears as like just a subgroup of the professional group.
Well, is that for the demographics though?
no, it's
No,
for
no, this is-
contact, like if they see the presentation, they have questions, they wanna come and visit the group.
why don't we
So I
do,
just thought the website.
why don't we do this?
Concise.
Yeah.
Should
You
be.
can,
Yeah.
I'm sure
Yeah.
you can set up multiple users on it.
Right.
Okay.
I'll go in and find out.
And what we do is once, like, if I take it the first month, you know, I open up, you know, try and answer the questions. If I can't, then I would send a separate email to anybody else in the group to try and get an answer, and then go back to the original email and, you know, respond to the questionnaire or to the person who's sending the email.
For,
Can we get
even for our regular, monthly people.
Right.
Who go to our meetings, there's no email just for them to contact us. We have theirs. They don't have.
Well, they
one.
contact me sometimes in response to my
Oh, yeah,
reminders.
Right,
Well,
But I-
that's what
but
we
I-
want to try and get away from. If we
Yeah.
set up our own,
right, so that
then
no one individual is getting
Stuck with all of that.
swamped with
right,
all the emails.
and we
Can you
take
get an
turns.
email address through that?
Yeah.
Because
there's
if
a-
you can do that, we should be able to
I can
maintain
do
the
that.
name too.
In fact, could you set it up in a way that you have an email address and like a separate sub-email address so that people who are, know what I'm saying? Maybe.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
See,
See if you can get the.
because that would be.
And then we would
yeah.
need at least, you know, 6 users. Even if we have to pay extra for it.
Right, which we might, but.
So that, you know, but that way, you know, like.
Well, no, we could have just 5.
Okay.
Eddie and I together.
That's right.
That was-
Fine, okay, that's, okay.
And at this point, Sue, who
6, wow,
do it,
Okay.
right,
not Andrea, the other. Yeah.
right. And, you know, then we just take turns.
You could change your habits. Stop checking your email maybe once a day instead of once a month.
Yeah, it's gonna make me do that, isn't it?
Yes, it will.
Okay, I'll check that out.
Just email at work and then turn the computer on. It's really what I wanna do, come home and turn the computer on again.
Okay, so, all right, what we need now is we're meeting again next week, but next week it has to be all.
I thought we were meeting the 19th.
No, I thought.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Sunday,
Also,
no?
not to get married Saturday, but that's.
That's
That's
enough.
Thank you. Okay, so then in 2 weeks, we have to have it all done. I mean, you know, and we'll come in here and we'll just go over it. So you've got to, anything you're supposed to do, you have to get it to us or to Pat. And then what I would suggest is just email it to Pat and us, you know, to Pat and Mark, okay? So you have to do your bios and just put in all the information. We'll edit it.
You'll doctor it up.
Yeah, we will. So we get the important things
Now,
in. But if you don't give
are you
give us
gonna-
the information, we can't.
You're gonna
Put it in.
include all of ours in it?
I do.
For the presenter demographics,
Discipline very little.
Yes, Pat?
presenter demographics, it says, okay, name, degrees, discipline, position, title, company, and organization. I put executive board member of Venture for Adults, right? That- Related to that. All right, address, Adventure's address.
P.O. Box, yes,
Okay.
yes.
P.O. Box 1281.
Right.
Okay, now it says home and work telephone.
No,
No.
I put my school telephone
No.
and this
No.
telephone.
no, I would put just this telephone.
Just this phone number,
That's the school
okay,
one you give me,
got
the
you,
telephone.
got you. Well, I don't care about them.
And then as far as the email, it'll be whatever email address.
Comes up. Yeah.
Right,
So that's, so you have 2 weeks, Pat, to get that.
oh, no,
Need a pen.
I have one right here in front of mine. Okay.
Okay, so next time, we should have we should have everything by next time. Okay, and then we'll go through this.
That should be all typed and everything then.
Oh, yeah. We'll go through this and then kind of spruce this up, but there's one more section I just wanted everybody to think about, problems. What problems
Well,
have
put
we,
it down, write it down so you
Oh,
can see.
pitfalls?
pitfalls, problems, whatever, yeah, what problems have we run into, so we can help head them off for
Oh,
new
okay,
groups.
yeah, I was gonna.
Oh, that would be,
I was gonna-
one is the
Well,
person who
think-
monopolizes, just put monopolizes the conversation.
Well, I don't wanna do that now. There's none of, well, I don't.
I was gonna
there'll be
put that
enough
too
time.
in one of the objectives, like to share.
We're talking about problems in the larger group?
The
or
we-
problems in this
Okay, why
group?
don't we do this? All of
The-
you guys who are gonna be emailing us your bios and everything else, why don't you just put down problems and just
Any-
list any problems and add that to it.
Either one.
Either one, any problems that we've run into, and then how they were resolved.
Okay.
Because-
Exec board
okay.
problems, regular meeting problems.
Okay.
Any that you can think of, you know, just kind of jot them down, because I do wanna have a list of common problems or projected problems, things that will
probably run into?
Well, one would be
Well, one in the
Seating.
general meeting is
Seating.
monopolizing.
Huh?
seating,
No, he's,
No,
no,
I'm
no,
saying
this meeting.
at
This meeting
I
here.
don't remember any, really.
Really consider that a problem,
Oh.
because it's,
We're a bunch of leaders.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Yeah, it's a problem. Meet some Indians.
Oh.
So we're
Back
looking for
here.
a list of problems as far as this group is concerned, not necessarily a general meeting.
no, both.
Both.
No,
Oh,
both,
oh,
both,
Both,
both.
Oh.
yeah,
Could be either.
both.
Yeah. A exec, B general.
Yeah.
Executive, you could say the inability to be candid.
All right, the next meeting is
Sometimes it
when?
gets too humorous, we don't get anything done.
19th,
That's true.
At what time?
9:30.
9:30?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The 19th,
I
yeah.
can't believe I was late. That makes me mad. I could have been.
I wrote it
more
down,
on
didn't
When you
write
get,
it
when
on
you get
my-
home, you're gonna hear a message on your answering machine. Pat, this is Linda.
Okay, so, and I'll pay the $49 for the
Right.
website renewal and then give you all that later.
Yes.
Just so I can, the spring 2004, I can't find my notes anywhere. Gee, isn't that surprising?
You have another one of these out there?
Yeah.
Okay.
On
Spring
the
Spring
fall,
2005, are you talking?
2005, yeah. I know we did a basic
Yeah, I have
basic
it right
one, and I have it all written down somewhere,
here. I have it.
can't find
I
it.
have it right here.
So I
Here's the
can
envelope.
There you go.
just put something on the spring,
Yeah, we have September, October, November, December became April. I don't know what happened to
Okay.
April. January, I know, is adult ADD panel. And what happened, my name is there, right? Running
because
this?
you're gonna be on. You're on.
March
Okay.
10th is ADD and finances.
Is that Jean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess. And then what was in December is coming to April. April 14th is, that was David Osterhout, right?
Oh, yeah.
David Osterhout,
Wait a minute.
comorbid disorders. So that's what I have. I'm
We
not sure
have-
if that's correct. But then we also have how to choose an
All right,
ADD
wait, yeah, we
professional.
we gotta look at this, cause
I think these two.
we are choosing an ADD professional for the 11th in November. Now,
Yeah.
now it's a team panel?
No, I think you're right. We have an arrow here. So how to choose an
No,
ADD professional went to
choose-
November. Team
No,
panel
that's-
probably went to
Choosing a
December.
professional, we had,
That's October. Because our first meeting is Ed and Linda, second meeting is choosing the professional.
No, ADD is ADD movie and discussion, October 14th. If we find a movie, right?
yeah, we can move it to November though.
So there may be some confusion here about
We
it.
already had that printed up, I thought, because I.
No, we didn't print it up
Because,
past,
It's printed up,
uh,
yeah, it's
to
here,
December.
this is it,
Oh, that one, yeah.
for fall.
Right.
Okay.
AD professional November, birthday celebration December.
Oh, that's
All right, so
spring
now
of
what's the
2005.
the April 14?
April I have, well, that's where David Osterhout was moved to.
I can't believe that was online.
I know,
I have the rest
I
of the year,
have
I
it.
have up to December.
May
I don't-
12th,
No, we
have a
did the
small
whole year.
group.
I can believe we're ADD.
I know we did the whole year, but we're
May
not.
is small groups.
And in June I have.
Now Sue's not here. Well, she
So,
should, I
is Sue
sent her.
gonna be here, is Sue gonna be there Thursday?
Yes, Sue
I don't,
Clinton.
I don't know, I'll have to give her a call, because we did send her the minutes in the mail.
Yeah, this is
Oh, okay,
Oh, I owe Sue some money.
all right, I'll update.
All right, well,
I can
now,
always put TBA for April.
Pat, are you taking all of Eddie's notes, or is Eddie having?
Oh, no, he's doing that. I can't do that. I have-
Susan's the only one I know that can read his writing.
Yeah. me
Well,
too.
I guess who's doing it?
I have so much for school that I haven't been able to.
Yeah, well, that's, I mean, I don't think you can read his writing.
Should we, are we gonna,
You're doing this, right? You're gonna type all your
I'll
stuff
have
up?
more of those.
this, but I'm, this could this be a handout that, or, that we use at the,
I thought so.
Sure.
be used at the conference?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
It should be. Yeah,
Right.
because it's
a
an
sample,
example,
right,
a sample of what we do here.
of our
Yeah, well, I'll
brochure
promote it.
and.
Yeah.
And I could even.
October
print up
14th,
our
movie and
website
discussion night,
pages.
choosing an ADD professionals November, adventure birthday party in December. Okay. And I don't have anything else for spring. I
Well,
thought
we're
we-
gonna have a list
thought
of
we
it.
wrote it down though.
Yeah, well,
I have
Well, it was on there.
Larry has it too, I have it written down.
I'm sure I have it written down too.
Yeah, I do too, but who knows where it's
It's
not
over
in.
in a different file over
I can't believe it's not in
I can do
You,
finances.
ADD and finances. April 14th, I've got the teen panel.
Oh, the team.
Is that one?
And then
It
May
wasn't in the
12th,
trend.
the small discussion.
Yeah, I know.
You
And
checked it out,
June
too?
9th,
Yes.
legal issues.
Okay.
I was very, very
Okay.
upset.
Is that what you have?
No, well, no, I
Way
do
ahead
now.
of time.
That's what Barry had.
Almost 6
We had the team
Yeah.
panel was flip-flopped.
Yeah, the team panel
That's all,
flipped to April.
what you wrote. The fall's on there, but the spring isn't. I've had the dates, I just don't, so I'll update it today.
Okay.
When I check the emails.
I went through it again. I checked the previous week, it wasn't there.
ADHD coach.
Okay.
Because you're gonna do the bio and also you're doing, problems.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And then he
so-
will need that, because he's doing this, so he's gonna need the
So
problems. out of
Sunday the
this.
19th, we will need to have.
Well, the bios, we should all
Before
be,
then.
should
Oh,
all be,
you should
yeah.
already have that.
Yeah, that should always be
Okay.
typed up.
And
And,
hopefully
That's-
the email address.
You want that before next meeting?
oh, yeah,
Yeah,
as
they
soon as
want that.
possible.
Yeah.
The bios, but you can bring the problems in that day. And we can just.
No, no, they're gonna email a problem, so we get it done. And then we
Well, we're
get,
gonna have to do it that day anyhow, still have to discuss it.
oh, yeah, but I mean, I'd rather have it all typed up and then we just do the final changes
Okay.
than having to reinvent
Right.
it again.
Yeah, reinvent the wheel again.
Just a phone, I left my cell phone. Push any buttons, anything magical?
Yeah, the top button.
Mail the bios too.
ADHD coach and,
Has to be a Word document.
yeah.
Or-
It'll give you email address if it came from, but it won't tell who it's from. Right?
What?
What are you talking about?
Emails, when we get our emails, when you look at the email before you open it, it'll tell you where the address is, but it doesn't tell you who it's from.
No, it tells you, well, yeah, it tells you who it's from. It doesn't give you the address, it tells you who it's from in the subject.
If they type that in.
Well, if I get an email with no subject line, I delete it.
Right.
Right, so you
So
just type in
that's-
bio.
that's what I'm.
If I don't know who it is, I just delete it.
Yeah.
We
I
used to,
send
we used to get it all the
That breast
time.
implants and stuff?
I send an email back,
Yeah.
but they don't get it. It's all spammed.
No, well, yeah,
You
sometimes.
can't respond, it's spammed, so.
When I used to, we don't spam.
I
it.
emailed back and said, I'm a school teacher, this is a school district you're sending this to, and I'll file legal action if you send me another one.
And?
I haven't gotten any more, but
Mm,
I don't think they, I don't know.
Who knows if they,
Anyway.
All right. so that's it
So-
then?
Send it to ADD coach and to
Right.
one to Pat, right?
mhm.
Okay.
And we'll be
Right.
back here.
Oh, okay, and, oh, I see.
9:30 on the
So-
19th.
And the
Send, we can either just type it on the email and send it,
Yeah.
or type it on a document and send it, okay. I'll just
So
type
just-
it up on the
Are we
email,
gonna
I
have
got
to
you.
Yeah,
Take
'cause
a
we-
picture or something since we're dressed up, or what? We're not gonna do that.
Still pictures?
We can picture it all.
Yeah.
Please wear something a little
Yeah,
more relaxed,
more dressed up.
casual.
Look at the three of them. Is this ADD or not, I'll tell you.
We're all ready for a picture.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we'll be ready for a still picture then on the 19th also.
Do we have a picture on the website?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It is?
Yeah.
yeah, so we
Yeah.
need to have Barry put in, so we do need an update.
Oh, just take a picture of Barry, superimpose his face
Yeah.
on
Looks
Josh's
like a young
body.
version of
You wouldn't
Barry.
mind that, would you?
I wouldn't mind.
All right, so the 19th dressed,
Yes. Email with a.
Gonna remind us anyway.
Dress for success, right?
yes.
Yep.
Okay, now see, was Mark bad? I mean, you end up where you don't even know he's there.
You on that one?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'll be back.
You don't realize Mark loves this. The wilder you get, and the crazier you get, he'll love it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so you have to be careful. Maybe we can sit and wait.
All right,
All right.
till we meet again.
Okay, well, I'll see you.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we'll see you in less than a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How you doing, Dad?
I'm doing fine. Merrill's a little nuts. We've got a lot of people coming to the house tonight before after the rehearsal dinner, and then people coming afterwards for breakfast and Sunday. Yeah, it's really funny. Last night when I was with the sisters, she got our German Shepherd, long-haired German Shepherd, took Merrill's place. So in the middle of the night, I sort of wake up and I reach over and I the dog, but it's sort of weird. Alrighty, I'm out of here.
Alright, I'll see you guys
Successful support.
Saturday.
And C, identify successful strategies for maintaining and expanding a successful support group. Steps for establishing a successful support group.
But somebody worked yesterday, I said, no, I'm not. Because I know that the decision, the choice is a good choice.
Yeah.
You know, that Josh and Claire will have a good life together, so I'm not at
Oh,
all
yeah.
nervous. I was nervous about some other people who were sitting years ago.
He don't worry. None of them were ones he wanted. He knew that. Yeah, no,
No, he has a lot of common sense.
He's where I knew he would
Should
be.
I act crazy?
I feel what?
Better edit that out too.
No, he won't.
No, he won't, huh?
No. By doing that, he loves. You don't know. He's.
Okay.
I'll take a steal of that one.
And take a still, okay.
Yeah, we'll throw that in the end credits.
Oh, thanks
end
a
credits.
lot.
Hey, you could just take a still of all of us, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. For
I'm
next
not
meeting
gonna
on the
stand,
19th.
I'm not gonna stand still
No,
for it.
I mean,
I'll see you later.
right now, I mean, so
Bye,
I don't have to
Dad.
wear a tie next time,
Ah.
right?
Well,
Oh, you mean you really? Take a
No,
still of
I
him,
guess
so-
no. I guess we'll
I can always
bring
take
it,
a
bring
picture
it,
of you out.
bring a digital camera.
Well, he's gonna bring. Mark can
Alright.
bring his digital camera and do it too.
Well, you gonna be here next,
The
in
19th.
Yeah.
2 weeks?
Complete that with the proposal,
Huh?
that picture.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Done and.
Well, Mark can do it quick.
I was gonna say I'll bring my digital camera, but I don't have a digital camera.
I don't know if between now and October I'll ever find it. I don't even wanna think about it, so. If I order a new, it's like, it was like $20. It's nothing. And I know when I order a new one, I'll find the other one.
Part of,
And you can keep it here for
Yeah.
your
Oh, no, we can pay for
resources,
it out
yeah,
of
so
Adventure
I'm
too.
not gonna.
You know, it'll just become Adventure Street. We can do that too.
Alright.
So, all right. Well,
All right,
next time
we'll
you
see you.
come, hopefully this office will be done over. We're getting new paint, new.
Really?
carpeting.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Okay.
inexplicable.
It will be.
Yes, 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 yes.
I hope so. We'll see. That's why we haven't done anything or redecorated or anything. We're waiting for that.
So see you Thursday.
Yes, Thursday.
Whoa.
Yeah, we're
We'll have that
presenting
removed. Thursday,
Thursday.
the 9th.
Yes. Mark will be there too.
Okay. I will not be, well, I don't know. I will not be wearing a tie.
When, Thursday? We don't have to dress up, do we?
I'm not dressing up on Thursday. I know,
Just look nice.
it's a
then.
regular meeting.
Get your hair done and your nails done. That's all.
Wait, for Thursday? We have to get,
No.
oh.
Well, I mean, you're gonna be coming from school,
Oh,
right?
yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna look like this, but.
Right.
Okay.
Well, I'm not gonna look like this either.
Look good.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Are you?
I'm leaving.
Bye, Jean.
I haven't put in bed at 5 on Thursday. That'd be all right. Does he need to get ready though?
I have a 67.
It was nice meeting you, Mark.
Yes, it was nice meeting you too.
I have a 67. Do you believe that?
Oh.
I'm gonna be, I have to stop at 7, so what I'll do is get everything ready, and at 7 o'clock, I walk
Okay.
out.
Publications.
Mark, do you have to be
Number
there at 11:30?
6.
Yeah, I gotta leave in a few minutes.
Okay. What time do you start work, 11:30 or 12?
Yeah, I'm supposed to start at 11:30, but as long as the store is open prior to 12.
Oh, okay, all right.
Like payroll starts at 11:30, but I could always be a little late.
All right, you don't want us to do anything else, though, right?
No,
Okay.
this is plenty. I got some good stuff today.
Look at, Mark, look at this. This is everything. Not everything. This is all of our stuff.
Holy Toledo!
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Fans, parentheses, printed,
I mean, this is it.
type.
Estelado arriba!
And, I mean, look at this. Oh, you know what I was going to do? I'm going to go through what we've already dictated. Did Eddie do anything or not? He never did he? Did
He
he?
did a little bit, but if I can, I'll try to have this DVD by the 19th. Okay.
Okay. Well, I just wanted, remember I said I wanted to start making copies of everything we've done? So we
Yes.
don't redo?